Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 has some epic new features on top of an all-new design. Let me know in the comments who out there is waiting for the Z Fold 6, and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with the latest tech. So first up, before we get into the great news on the Z Fold 6, for those fans of the S series, we've now got the Galaxy S24 PreOrder live, and you can pre-order for free just by putting in your name and email address. There's no commitment to buy, and you're also going to receive free Samsung credit, as well as more exclusive offers on the launch. Now, of course, I've placed a link down in the description below, as well as the card in the top right corner, so if you're even considering one of the S phones, then I recommend you check it out now. Next up, we've got news of impressive new AI features for the Z Fold 6, and these have been revealed by Mystery Lupin on Twitter, as well as a recent S24 listing. Now, he says that we're going to get Live Translate, which is going to speak and translate foreign languages on the spot right from inside the Samsung phone app. We've got Nightography Zoom, which is going to improve zoomed image quality for the low light shots. And then we've also got Generative Edit, which is going to move, add, or remove things from your images using an AI generative fill. And this is pretty much similar to Google's Magic Eraser, although it looks like to use this, you will need to be logged into your Samsung account, so connectivity will be required. Next up, we've got a tweet from Ice Universe, and he says the new Galaxy S24 Ultra is going to offer 4K videos at 120 frames a second, and given that the Z Fold 6 also uses the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which is the same chipset as the S24 Ultra, it's likely that the Z Fold 6 is also going to get this feature. Now, next up, we've got great news for current and future Fold owners. Both the Fold 5 and the Flip 5 are going into the Samsung self-repair program, and this means that the Galaxy Z Fold 6 is likely to do the same. And this not only means for those of you that want to have a go at repairing yourself, you can, but for those of you that want to use a mobile repair shop, they should find it easier to obtain the official parts. We previously had news of faux LED displays to be used in the Folds, and this is a phosphorescent OLED display. To put it into simple terms, when it comes to the current OLEDs, the blue subpixel has always been the weak link, using fluorescent materials, while the green and red use phosphorescent. But the new display is going to be a complete phosphorescent display, and this means a much greater level of overall brightness. Now, new reports state that Samsung is encountering issues with the display, so it's not going to be in the Z Fold 6, and it's likely going to debut in the 7. However, the Fold display generally upgrades in line with the S phones, and this means that the new Z Fold 6 is likely to have something like a 2600 nit folding display, which is just incredible. Now, Ross Young previously told us that when it comes to the Galaxy Z Fold 6, we're not only going to be getting a wider aspect ratio on the cover display, but we're also getting a bigger display on both the front and the back. Ice Universe has tweeted a prototype design of the Galaxy Z Fold 6, and to me, this looks like the perfect fold. Now, of course, this is just a prototype, but we've had many reports stating that Samsung are going to be changing the form factor of the Z Fold 6, so it's looking very likely that the design is at least going to be something similar to this. Now, the Elect told us that Samsung were taking inspiration from the Mate X5 from Huawei for the form factor changes, so I would say expect something that looks similar to this, but probably slightly thinner. Now, I've also created these renders here to give you a good look at what we can probably expect from the new Galaxy Z Fold 6. So overall, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 is looking like a great update to the series, with plenty of hardware and software upgrades on top of a new form factor that many of us have been waiting for years. Now, for those excited for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 though, we're now going to run through the full specs, design, and the expected pricing to help you guys decide if it is worth the wait. For my regular viewers, you guys have seen this, so just skip to the next video, but if you're new here, then hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So with the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6, we get a 7.6-inch foldable 120Hz dynamic AMOLED display. While it's the same size as its predecessor, we're expecting improvements in brightness, color accuracy, as well as durability. It's coming with a resolution of 1812 by 2176 and is going to be protected by Samsung's newest ultra-thin glass. Now, there's also going to be less visible creasing in the center of the new foldable display, as well as water and dust resistance. For the external display, we get a 120Hz dynamic AMOLED protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 3. It's going to be a 6.2-inch display, and while the current resolution is unknown at the moment, Samsung are reportedly working on a much wider aspect ratio, and we're also going to see improvements to the brightness and color accuracy, and it will of course have a punch hole camera in the top center. Now the selfie cameras are going to be a 10 megapixel wide-angle camera on the cover display, followed by a 4 megapixel under-display camera on the internal display. Then over on the rear, it's a 50 megapixel primary camera, a 12 megapixel ultra-wide, and then a 10 megapixel telephoto with 3x optical zoom. Now it's actually the same camera system used in the predecessor, but hopefully we will still see some improvements thanks to the software. It's going to be powered up by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 globally, and we get 12GB of RAM with up to 1TB of storage, and this will of course be UFS 4.1. It's coming with a 4400 mAh battery, and while fast charging is still currently unknown, we're hoping for improvements to both wired as well as wireless charging. In terms of connectivity, we get advanced 5G, Bluetooth 5.3 and Wi-Fi 7, and then we also get ultra-wideband support, and it's coming with One UI 6 based on Android 14, and it's expected to launch from $1,850 in August 2024. So the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 is looking like an incredible new folding phone from Samsung, and for a device that's kept the same design for some time now, it's great that we finally get some changes in all areas. A bigger cover display with a wider aspect ratio is going to make the phone a lot more usable for those times that you want to do something quickly and don't want to unfold into a bigger display. And then the much brighter display with all of the new AI features and the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 means the general usability is going to be greatly improved in all aspects. Now the fact that they're also thinning down the phone on top of all this is just a bonus, and to be honest, the Z Fold 5 already looked like a very premium device, so I'm incredibly excited for the Z Fold 6. Now because of its similarities to its predecessor, I can't see anyone with the Fold 5 rushing for an upgrade, but for those with an older Fold or even looking to try out their first Fold, then the Galaxy Z Fold 6 is going to be a great place to start. Now we've still got plenty of time until launch, so we'll likely get more and more leaks coming in, and of course I'll be sharing them as soon as they do, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.